Hey guys, Jay Reacts here, and today I'm going to try something a little bit different. Instead of a try not to laugh, I'm going to show off my Minecraft world that I've actually been working on for about 6, 7 years now. I won't be able to show the whole thing, but I'm going to show part of it. So let's just get right to it. Alright, so it's just called Castle. It's pretty simple, but we're going to start off by showing the castle off, not the entire world. Okay. So this is the village by the castle, and the castle's over there, built into the mountain. So I think we'll just start by walking over there. This, of course, is the castle town. So I decided to start building it up in the mountains. Originally because there was an alcove built into the side of the mountain where I built the entrance. So if you look here, I have some sentinels, some statues looking good. I thought it was pretty cool, the different arches and giant doors, though, it's a bit difficult to make giant doors open, so they just have tiny doors. This is the throne room where I wanted to show off as much, wealth and things like that as possible. Oh, and each of those blocks up here represents a different tribe that exists in this world, because I've written a whole kind of backstory for this world and how time's kind of passed. So if you'll notice, there's two different colors here. Purple leads over to the royal wing, because purple is usually the color of royalty, and red is into the common areas where guests can live. Here's the royal aquarium, but all the fish died, so that kind of sucked. Not really trying to make them stay spawned, so yeah. This is the Royal Family Museum, where the three great heroes of the Amidius family have their armor stored. If you go further in, you see the armor of the prince, which I might get into later if I ever talk about the story. Here's the complete family history of every emperor. And yeah, I thought it'd be a nice little addition to add in. You can look out. It's rather brightly lit, things like that. Yeah, so that's this part. Out here's the docks. Castle. If we move a bit faster. As you can see, there's a crane there. Different, offshoots. And to the left here is the storage facility, where shipping containers will be held until, or the things that were on the ships will be held in shipping containers until they're ready to be delivered or bought or sold. Yeah, so once we continue in here, we go right and up these stairs. And this leads into the guest quarters. I liked having a nice open area to look down into the garden. Yeah, so we'll continue this way. To the right is the lighthouse tower that also holds the guest quarters. I'll show you one of the guest quarters. Each of them is pretty much laid out the same, not too much detail, just with different color schemes. So once we get to the top, you'll see this contraption, which if you stick a minecart on and send it around, will actually get the light to start, traveling. Let's see. I'll try and spawn one in. And then push. As you can see, the light turns on and off. Though it does lag the system a little bit, so might be better if I just stop that. Okay, so back down we go. And this part will lead into the library. Nothing too amazing. And down here is the meeting area where the Emperor meets with the different tribes. This window was added recently to look down into the other part of the town as it wraps around the castle. So each one of these, they have their own individual flag. Of course, with the Emperor at the head. Now, there is some secrets here that are somewhat interesting. Now, I held this as the head office of the main librarian, but if you break the floor, you can find a secret area that I've built. And it's been overgrown. It wasn't this bad before, but it's a nice meditation area that I built deep under the castle. There's a lot of things like that in this world, secrets that you wouldn't know are there. And I kind of like that, having an idea of, a secret that not everyone will find. Or something that's not obvious. So that was the guest wing. Now we'll just quickly fly back and go on the royal side. Now, here, I made sure to get some banners for art to kind of show that they're patrons of the art, kind of show off their wealth as well. And this is behind the throne. Now, we can continue down here. And there's two paths. To the left would be the Royal Banquet Hall, which is here. Pretty basic. And the Royal Kitchen, with stocked meats and vegetables. So it's quite interesting. Towards the other side, again splits off into two paths. One leading out into the Royal Gardens, and to the left leading into the Royal Tower. So we'll be taking that tower. And this is one of the first things I built, was this castle. From then I've expanded out into a giant world. I'll show you the map at the end. This is where the guard room is. I figured that there should be guards on the way up to the royal section. I believe there's also a kitchen coming up, though I may be mistaken. Yes. The royal kitchen, just in close proximity, which is here. Now, starting on the first floor of the royal tower, we have a museum, just with a list, or a collection of different artifacts that are very rare, and a number of different artworks that I thought looked very cool. I put the best ones here, and the other ones down in the other hallway. Now, here's the royal guest room. Just a basic area, lounge area, sink, things like that. Yeah, and I liked having a little backsplash there. Next, you continue up, and this is the heir quarters, where the prince would live. So in the storyline I've written, there is a prince, but he also has an adopted brother, so he sleeps up here. And maybe I'll go more into that story if anyone ends up wanting to know more. Here is just a lounge area, like a living room. And this is the royal bedroom. Now this has its own tower that's built off of the edge, where I have its own living room, bookshelf area, and of course bed. I believe, yes, that's it. Now if we continue above, I have the royal library, which is 2 floors, with an entrance here to go on top of the king and queen sleeping area. Just change that. Now, once at the very top is the Emperor's office, and up here is where his elite royal guard stays, if he ever needs to drop down and protect him. And this is the top. Now, that's the end of the inside of the castle, but we're gonna fly down and go down to the gardens, which are here. So that was the way to the royal tower, and this way goes out into the gardens. Now here we have the infirmary, which goes down. I believe it was originally a prison. Yes, yeah, previously a prison. I wrote that stuff. And yeah, so there's, each area, everyone has their own room for the patients with privacy screens. And down here is the operating room. I tried to make it white so it's, as sterile as possible with a slab for operations to be held on. I figured I'd need one, just in general. I didn't want to build a whole building for it yet, though that might change in the future. These are the royal garden specifically tended by the queen, which is why it's rather uniform. Just, with a nice area to come up and admire it, with a nice underhang, or overhang, sorry. Now this is the gardener's quarters, or the groundskeeper's quarters, sorry. And, he lives on the grounds and has a camel and a little cat. So that's pretty cool. This one was actually one that my friend built. And of course he has the golden hoe. This is the armory and forge. Just full of materials to make bows, swords, and so on. So then I have my pretty epic fountain. It's just here. And of course over here. Up there is a statue of the first emperor. And I have the royal hedge maze. It used to be a bit harder because it was harder to see through the leaf blocks, but they've changed that. So if we start on the grounds and go up here, you have the royal dueling area, arena, for fencing, which is why it's lengthwise. And of course there's stands and the Emperor's box you can watch. And up there is the Temple of Good Fortune, which is the main temple of the royal family. On both sides. With a block here, a compass block that uses a new feature that makes all compasses point toward that location. So I like to think it has some sort of significance to the royal family. Going back down into here, you can go this way to the royal spa. Some lounge areas, along with a heated pool. There's also the gazebo, which I'm rather proud of. I don't know why, it's pretty plain, but I just really like the design for it. And up there is the collection of the tribes and each of their names. So there's the Emidians, the Dark Ones, the Aquamarinians, Indarians, Purpurians, different things. A lot of the names are based off of the actual block that it's based off of, because I figured that would be fine to base the culture off of for each of these individual groups. Each one of the groups has their own individual kind of building style that I've kind of incorporated. Again, if I go more into the story sometime, I can explain that more. And down here goes into the lower gardens, which again just wrap around, having many entrances into the city surrounding. Now this area is the guards' quarters. I haven't finished it yet, so there's nothing on the inside, but this would be, where the main guards would stay, and it has a connection to patrolling the wall. And this massive wall surrounds the entire castle. You can show it off a bit. Along with the airship port. Oh, airship port up there. Now we could check that out. It's a little bit of a climb. But I have two airships right now. This one is an individual one, known as the Red Bat. And it's a ship that's been corrupted by the Nether. So if you come down here, they have sleeping areas for the crew. But also here, there's archers, crossbows. And in the back here is the power source for the airship, which I've displayed in the back as a thruster. Each one of these has conduits lining up to attach to the different thrusters, as well as stabilization wings and, of course, sails. I don't know why that word escaped me. Now, this is the bigger Amidian military ship. It's still in progress, but I've worked out the 2 main floors and 2 different areas where you can attack from. And that'll be completed soon, hopefully. Not sure if you've noticed, but this is the royal family symbol. It's in many places. Now, above the castle, I have this floating temple, which is actually used by the race I created that flies. This would be one of their main temples. But again, I can go more into the lore if anyone's interested later. So yeah, again, around here, it just wraps around. But if you notice, this connects off into the tower we saw when we first started. This is the prison. Now, there's 2 different types of prison. One is for the regular prisoners, and that's this one. So, you know, there's the check-in desk. If you go down, you see different cells, along with areas for guards to relax. I believe this goes down 5 floors. Though I may be wrong. Maybe it's, no, 3. It's 4. 4 floors, along with solitary confinement. Now, the real fun stuff comes with the political prisoners. Now, that's what I store in the other tower, which is here. So this one has a central staircase, and the cell surrounds the staircase. I'm not sure if there's anyone in here right now, but yes. Oh, there is. See, so he only gets to surround here. He has a bed and a bathroom, and that's it. Mostly it's surrounded like this, so there's an easy view. Oops. I was moving my fingers the wrong way. The only thing is, I do find this staircase a little bit ugly, but I had to work with the space I had, because the tower was built originally first. It was supposed to be an observatory, but I ended up changing that into a prison. Skimming over the castle, there's the name of the current reigning monarch, along with this mural that I really like. Yeah. So to give a bit of a sneak preview of what I want to cover next would be my bat cave. Now, this is my main source, or main base of operations. I'll show it off fully later, but I just want to show off the map I have of my world. Right, so what we've explored is this circle here, and we still have much more to cover. So hopefully we'll get to that soon. Alright guys, I hope you liked it. Let me know how you like this style of video, or if you want me to maybe cut it down or edit it a bit. Just any suggestions would be cool. Alright, I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya. Peace.